You may feel like you're doing all the right things. You're sleeping enough, you're eating well, you're moving your body, but what if something unseen was silently eroding your vitality like it did for me? From polluted air to microplastics in your water, from flame retardants in your furniture to heavy metals in your cookware, environmental toxins are accelerating your biological clock. Today I'm going to show you not just why these exposures matter for your longevity, but how to fight back with precision, with science, and with real world tools. Let me just share a story for you. I was jaundiced, yellow hands, my liver was shutting down, I had eczema all over my skin, my body. I was experiencing, something very embarrassing at the time, because I was going through to become a doctor. And I was going to start helping patients, but I was struggling with my own health challenges, and I had brain fog, and I was falling asleep in class. Luckily, an environmental toxin expert came along and educated on the things I'm about to share with you. And within 3 short months, my health completely transformed. I got rid of the environmental toxins out of my body. I started getting straight A's. The jaundice went away in my hands and my body. The eczema, the skin conditions, the acne went away. So this is a huge deal. And this is something that I am very passionate about, that I believe will impact you for the rest of your life. So it's not just the time that's stealing your youth. It's what you breathe, it's what you eat, it's what you live every single day. And there's science that shows that the exposome and aging is something that we need to really look into. In a 2023 landmark review entitled Exposomes and Unhealthy Aging, Environmental Drivers found that the totality of environmental exposures is the exposome, plays a critical role in accelerated aging. And raising biological age and increased aging, age-related disease risk is something that ended up developing and taking place because of the exposure day in and day out. These toxins are ambient particle matter called PM 2.5. There's found in pesticides, heavy metals, organic solvents, plastics, nanoparticles, and they cross your blood-brain barrier. They induce neuroinflammation and vascular dysfunction. And the key takeaway is not just your genetics or your lifestyle, it's your environment, it's your body that processes billions of exposures every single day, and many of them are aging you faster than you know. So you breathe hundreds of pollutants every single day, and each one silently has a fingerprint on your aging clock. It helps you accelerate the aging process, which is not what we want. And common daily exposures, are big problems. So let's get specific. What are these hidden exposures that you face every single day? There's the air pollutants, right? The fine particles, the PM 2.5, the benzene rings that are found in the exhaust that comes out from the truck that's driving in front of you. It's the airport runway where you're breathing in the diesel fuel that's filled with lead in the plane ahead of you. These particles generate oxidative stress, they shorten your telomeres, and they raise your risk of dementia and cardiovascular disease, This was found in Frontier's research article. And what we've also found is that heavy metals like lead, cadmium, mercury, even lower levels of chronic exposure have been linked to epigenetic age acceleration. So this is a big problem. Pesticides, organic solvents, endocrine disrupting chemicals. These disrupt hormonal signals, inflammation, mitochondrial function as well. And indoor exposures like oil paints that have lead in them, and cookware that give off fumes, and plastics that you store your food in like phthalates, PFAs, or the volatile organic compounds that's off-gassing from your mattresses, or the chemicals that are in the water that you're getting inside the house. A lot of you don't understand the level of damage, inflammatory stressors that these have on your body. So every time that you inhale, you eat, you touch, you sleep, you're being exposed to these things. And Every single cell gets impacted by this in your body. So your home might be your sanctuary, but it could also be your, stealth aging zone. What they have found is that your indoor environment can be up to 100 times toxic than the outdoor environment. So here's how the toxins essentially damage your cells. Let's look underneath the hood. How do these toxins actually age you? Oxidative stress and mitochondrial dysfunction are developed by toxic overloads that build up inside the mitochondria. And the energy engine, which is the mitochondria of your cell, it starts to get damaged, it starts to senesce, and it causes problems. There's DNA damage and epigenetic aging as well that happens when there's exposures to these toxins, which shorten telomeres and increase DNA methylation drift, which is one of the issues with aging. And it also, increases your biological age. Now, what we also know is neuroinvascular inflammation is produced by toxins that pass the blood-brain barrier into your brain and cause major issues in the micro and macrovasculature, accelerated cognitive aging. In fact, they found plastic and other environmental toxins like heavy metals and mercury in Parkinsonian patients, in MS patients, in people with Alzheimer's, etc. So endocrine disruption, it's also majorly impacted by environmental toxins. The environmental toxins interfere with hormone signaling. It slows metabolism. It increases fat storage. It reduces repair. In short, these toxins, they add damage. They accelerate aging, and they really are at the root of why we're dealing with so many things that we're dealing with. So toxins, they don't just tag along, they hijack your cellular engines. And there are lifestyle interventions that reduce exposures in your air, your water, your home, and your food. And this is what we want to do. You can get down to fighting this today. Lifestyle interventions are where you want to focus. In your air, you want to use a HEPA filter. I also have an ozone filter that knocks all the particles out of the air. I have a indoor air combustion, mechanism. One way to do this is through beeswax candles. If you use beeswax candles, they literally cleanse the air and can knock toxins out of the air. So you want to monitor your indoor air quality and outdoor air quality, your PM 2.5 levels. You want to see where they're at within your house and around your house. You also want to use a reverse osmosis or a distilled water filter, or use distilled water for drinking water. You want to avoid plastic bottles, especially in the heat. And we also want to choose organic produce for high pesticide items, ultra processed foods with hidden chemical alternatives. That's an easy low-hanging fruit. One of the things that I did was I got out of a moldy environment, right? One of the reasons why I was dealing with what I was dealing with is there was hidden mold behind the walls that were getting into the ducts and into the air circulation and impacting me in a really negative way. So if you have any black mold, definitely go to Home Depot, get concrobium, find somebody that can, that can do some remediation or whatever. But home environments, you want low VOC free paints. You want you want to avoid flame retardant furniture. I have a cowhide rug here. I've got organic couches throughout my house that don't have any volatile organic compound off-gassing. You want to test for mold and heavy metals in your home. But look, there's no perfect process here. You just want to decrease the load. You want to reduce the load. Every toxin you don't bring in is one less toxin that ages you less. So I'm pretty hardcore about this, but you should be as well. You can't control the world around you, but you can control what enters your world, your mouth, your body, your air, your water, your home, okay? So once you reduce these exposures, you must support your body's detoxification system. This is something that cannot be ignored. You want to use binders. You want to use detoxification aids like activated charcoal, zeolite, bentonite clay can help bind heavy metals and toxins and eliminate them out of the body. Chlorella and cilantro can help support mercury and lead mobilization. But you want to use this with caution, and you want to ultimately work with a doctor that knows what they're doing with chelation. Key nutrients are like glutathione, N-acetylcysteine. They support phase 2 liver detoxification. Hobamine, urolithin A, sulforaphane, right? That's found in cruciferous vegetables and broccoli sprouts that stimulate NRF2 pathways and really are key cellular repair mechanisms. You've got omega-3 and polyphenols that reduce neuroinflammation that are induced by toxins. There's also things that can support your mitochondria like coenzyme Q10 and PQQ and alpha lipoic acid. I had mentioned hobamine as well as urolithin A, which are very powerful in helping produce and optimize your mitochondrial function. So you'll often see a lot of these toxins in clinical cases that I work with day in and day out. They have high heavy metal markers, high oxidative stress, poor mitochondrial function in the mitochondrial efficiency screening test. The right nutritional support makes the difference between chronic burden and essentially repairing your body. So you want to detox. You know that detox isn't glamorous at times. It's ultimately the repair crew behind your resilience. It will help you live longer, healthier. And we need to test. We don't want to guess. You can fix the underlying issues, but you need to understand what is actually going on in your body. So I like to do a total toxic burden test or a provocative challenge heavy metal test for the blood and the urine that looks at lead, cadmium, mercury, arsenic, uranium. You want to look at mycotoxin screenings to see if there's any mold exposure. You want to look at volatile organic compound levels, which is found in that total toxic burden test. You want to look at the C-reactive protein to look at your total inflammatory burden. You want to look at mitochondrial markers in the me-screen test of organic acids and fumarate and succinate and some of these other biomarkers. And then you want to look at your biological age test, methylation clocks. You want to look at that, how to track these exposures. They shift ultimately your age, so you want to track them. A research article in the Frontiers in Aging Review notes that environmental exposures act as gerontogen, chemicals that actually accelerate biological aging. That's the word again is gerontogens, which are chemicals that accelerate biological aging. So once you test, you reveal the hidden load, and then you start working on reducing, repairing, and retesting, right? I have a whole longevity clinical methodology around this that I call the Symphonic longevity method. And it's essentially restoring your detoxification at the foundation, then removing the toxins, then reestablishing normalcy and homeostasis, and then getting to a place of total restoration and rejuvenation of the tissues. And that's where you reach peak performance. And everyone takes different essentially amounts of time to go through the phases, but you know, it's very exciting what you can end up doing. So your labs are your silent record, right, of every invisible exposure that you ever had. So you want to get your lab tests done. So here's how you integrate it. Let's pull it all together for you. Your step-by-step anti-toxin longevity plan, right? You want to clean your environment. You want to clean your air, your water, your home, your food. You want to support your body with binders, detox. You want to nourish your mitochondria. You want to measure your burden, your tests, right? You want to look at that through testing. You want to test, you want to guess. And you want to repeat and refine every 6 to 12 months. You want to retest exposures, your biological age. I do this every couple of months. I know it costs quite a bit of money, but it's something that I like to do every month or 2 months to look at what I'm doing, how it's moving the needle. The cool fact is I've been doing some things that have reversed my biological age by 4 years in the last few months. And so it's pretty cool to see that you can have that much of an impact through integrating some of this stuff. That's why I love testing. I actually love looking at what I'm doing and how it impacts my biological age and all the other markers. So when you take control of your exposome, again, it's the toxins in your environment that impact your genome, you reclaim your time. Your biological age slows your resilience improves and your future will be a lot brighter. Your health will be a lot brighter. So you can't, again, reverse time, but you can reverse toxicity and add more time to your life. And if you felt this hit home for you, I'd love for you to share this with someone that you feel like is, struggling with fatigue or brain fog or unexplained symptoms, because this is ultimately the future. And this is something that will impact you for the rest of the life. So your life. So what I would love for you to do today is pick one area to improve. Maybe it's upgrading your water filter. Maybe it's testing your heavy metals. Maybe it's adding a binder for the next 30 days. And building up your detox pathways. The truth is, longevity isn't just about diet and exercise. It's about clearing toxin load, even the things that you can't see. So again, subscribe. Next week, we're going to dive into more of how you can rebuild your circadian rhythm on after exposure and how it really ties into aging. And remember, you're not just fighting time, you're fighting toxins, and you're capable of winning against that. So you can't take control of every pollutant, but you can control your exposures, your exposome, right? Every bite, every breath, every filter, every binder, it all counts, because aging isn't just about the passage of time, it's the accumulation of the damage and the bioaccumulation of toxins that ultimately impact you and accelerate aging. You can slow this down and even reverse biological age to a certain degree with the things that we're doing now. So thank you so much for listening, and look forward to adding more value to you in the future.